Welcome to our humble abode. This is Gypsy. Come on in. So we've gotten a lot of questions from people about what does your rig look like and how do you live in that small space and where do you put everything? And so we thought we would take this time and answer some of those questions today. So this is what Gypsy looks like when we're parked and how we live in it all week long. Mostly during the day, I spend my time right here. This is my desk. I have to remember which one side. Oh yeah, this one. This is my desk. I work from home. I work from my rig. I'm a digital nomad, I guess is now the proper term. Computer, second monitor. Sometimes I use the second monitor. Sometimes I have some things that I need the extra screen space, but I don't have this set up all the time. A couple of times a month, depending on the projects that I have working on, that I need the extra space. So when we do that, hopefully you saw the video of Mike building my desk. This used to be a chair space, and now it's my desk. If you didn't, we'll link that below, and you can go watch that and see how this came to be. This is just a cube storage space, with the fabric cubes in it. In fact, I have cubes in them with storage, in many of them. And this extra stand for my second monitor, because it's wide enough, as you can see, they kind of overlap, and I don't really have space to put it on the desk right next to my computer. I kind of would lose some of the screen space, and that defeats the purpose. So Mike built me this box, and it actually fits inside one of the cubes down here while we're traveling, and it's empty. It's just an empty box, so that whatever's in the cube can also go in the box. So cool, extra storage, and it contains itself, which is good. You got to think about those kinds of things. You also have to think about weight issues when you live and travel in an RV. Everything has weight limits, and you don't want to bring things that are super heavy, which is why we went with a lighter weight configuration here, and with the fabric cubes to keep things organized, it actually closes up everything so that things don't slide around while we're moving. So, it's just one of the things you have to think about. Now, we are currently sheltered in place in California. We arrived in California right as they were issuing a shelter-in-place order, and so we have done just exactly that. It has kind of put a damper on our sightseeing. In fact, right across from us, and we'll show you some of that footage, but there's lovely mountains in the background, and right on the other side of those mountains is the Joshua Tree National Forest, or National Park, which we were hoping to go and see, and they kind of don't want you out in public. So we're not going to see that, which is why this week's video is more about inside life than about outside life, because we're not really having much outside life right now. But I saw an article on Facebook. I saw a suggestion on Facebook for everybody to put back up their Christmas lights so people could see Christmas lights because it spreads cheer. Well, we have some lights that we hadn't put up, and we don't normally put these inside, but if you know me, you know I love Christmas lights. And so I put Christmas lights, we put up our outdoor lights on the inside. There. So we put up our lights on the inside just to kind of make it cheery and a little less drab. I don't know. These will definitely not stay up when we travel. That's a big no. Will they go back up the next time we land someplace? I don't know. We'll see how we're feeling, but I really like having the lights on at night. TV, we have an antenna, an over-the-air antenna, and some places have cable. We have Fire Stick, we have internet connectivity, we have a DVD player. I almost said a VCR. I can't even remember the last time I watched anything on a VCR, but I almost said VCR. We have a DVD player, we have all kinds of stuff. We are super entertained. Up here, we call this the office. Printer, papers, files, printer cartridges, like extra things that we needed to keep track of that weren't going to fit down in here. We bought a inkjet, super small inkjet printer that works great when we need to print things, which is occasionally. There's envelopes and postage and bill reminders, you know, those kinds of things. Those kinds of things you have to keep track of. Over here, above my desk, is where the other tech cabinet is. We have walkie-talkies to help when we're backing up so that we're not yelling instructions at one another. A Bluetooth speaker for going down the road, listening to whatever while we travel. This is our tablet with our checklist and other goodies, and there's just all kinds of little cords and wires and plugs, and see there's a strip up there. Everything gets power. That's where we keep tech stuff. Let's move now into the living room. This is an accessory. This is an extra thing that we bought. Dual purpose. It is kind of heavy. We kind of broke the weight rules on this one, or we didn't really break the rules. We sort of made an exception. This makes a really nice ambiance of a fireplace. Our rig does not have a fireplace, but it also doubles as a small space heater. There's heat that blows out the bottom here. In fact, I don't want to leave this on very long because it's pretty warm today and it doesn't need to get hot. But it's nice in the evening, when it cools off, and we can sort of get the homey feel of a fireplace. Sofa, ottomans. Again, dual purpose. The ottomans are storage. There's sheets and towels in one, blankets and more towels in another. Put your feet up. These don't recline. This bed folds completely out. It is a queen size pull-out bed. So it doesn't recline, so we put our feet up on there. The fireplace also serves as a nice little side table. Put your drink on here while we're watching TV. In fact, that's why the TV sets to the side and sort of at an angle, so it's easier to watch from the sofa. There's also a side table here for me that goes away in the packing process, which I'm sure you've seen. Cabinets, there's just various things stored up here, and not necessarily things, they're kind of messy. We'll cover that another time. Let's move now into the kitchen. Ta-da! Here it is. In our previous rig, we had very little counter space. Like, between the sink and the stove, maybe this much counter space. So this seems like luxury right now. Sink, you know, the normal stuff. Cabinets, stove, oven. There's our stove, microwave, coffee maker, and I don't put the coffee maker away when we travel. It goes like this. Goes right here. And these two little things. If any of the ladies out there ever wore ponytails or pigtails in the 70s, you remember things like this they used to put our pigtails up with? That's what this is. And then it just travels down the road. Dish drying rack and tray for when we do dishes.
Oh.
Also with our appliances, refrigerator and freezer. Not a residential size, and I know there are people going, oh, how can you live with that little space? For 2 people, it's fine. Actually, there's quite a bit of food in here, because again, we're sheltered in place and you're not supposed to go out much, and so we've stocked up and frozen a lot of stuff, and it's working out really well. Pantry, not as nifty as some rigs have the whole slide out, all the shelves come out, or the shelves come out one at a time. Maybe that's an upgrade we'll do later, and maybe not. With some baskets and some additional shelving here and there, it's working out pretty well for us. Extra drawers for extra, who knows? We actually, yes, in an RV, you actually do have a junk drawer. There's just junk. Batteries and cords and cables, oh my. Let's move now into the dining room / office. This is our dining table. It's also Mike's office. When he's working on his computer, he's editing videos, he's making camp reservations, he's playing Toon Blast, I don't know, whatever he's doing on his computer. This is where he sits. This table folds down and becomes even with the benches, and you put all the cushions together and it is a bed for short people, because it's kind of short, but it's a bed. It sleeps people, and both of the benches have storage in them. As you can tell, we converted this one into Mako's hideaway. So, cat door in there, and inside this bench is his litter box and a space for a bed. Usually he rides in there when we're traveling. He doesn't like the bumping and moving, but once we're parked, he comes out and is checking it out, and it's sort of funny because he looks out the window and looks like his face says, wait, all that bumping and moving and now all these pictures have changed. Is also storage, and it's got lots of stuff in it. This is where we put big stuff. We have an ice maker, an air fryer, an Instapot. Right now, because of stocking up for the shelter-in-place orders, there's some canned goods in there and an extra bag of cat food. So, big storage, stuff goes in there, and this all slides out, which you have seen. So now, let's head back toward the back, shall we? This is a 350 BH, is that right? BH? The BH stands for bunkhouse. So we have bunks for when we have guests, when we have the kids come and visit, or we have friends over. We do have friends over from time to time, not typically when we're out of state, but when we're at home in Indiana, we have friends come and stay over. Right now, it's mostly storage. This is Mako's ramp. This was my idea, and then Mike made it, which is how most things go around here. It's just the regular sisal rope wrapped around a 1x4. There's 2 little brackets right here, and as you can tell, it's pretty torn up. This is his scratching post, which saves the furniture. Yay! And he runs up here and hops up here, and if you look, he's up here napping in the sunshine in the window. We put the curtains up, and sometimes we open the window, and this is his little space. Put his bed up here and his favorite toys, and he's fine in the midst of all the storage. Laundry hamper, tripod for videos, the cat carrier, just some of the normal stuff. There are some cubbies on this side of the bed that I'm not really gonna get into showing you a whole lot because they're kind of messy too. But it's a little extra like pantry storage space. And all of it can be moved to other places to make room for when we have guests, they can put their stuff there. So when you have a bunk bed, you gotta have a way for somebody to get into it, right? Came with a ladder. Awesome. Ladder hooks right here on the side. You climb right up, no problem. But what do you do with the ladder when you're moving? Or what do you do with the ladder when you're parked and you're not using it? So again, I said, hey hun, I was thinking.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's the phrase Mike hates the most. Hey hun, I was thinking. It just sends chills up his spine.
I just go grab my tools.
Yeah, he gets his tools and I start rattling off. My thought was, why don't we store it under the top bunk? So he came up with a system to attach basically some industrial strength twist ties to the underside of the bunk, and it holds the ladder and the vacuum, and it's also where we put Mako's ramp when we're traveling. But we can also use the ladder double duty. It's sort of it's a clothes dryer. So if you have a couple of socks that aren't quite dry, or you need to dry a dish towel, or anything like that, laundry wise, we hang it from the ladder under here, instant clothes dryer, and it just untwists when we need it. Creative space solutions. Also with bunk guests, and usually you would expect they're probably our kids, but you want them to have a little bit of privacy. So the previous owners had already installed these end pieces for a spring-loaded like curtain rod, but there weren't curtains to go with it. I don't know why, but there weren't. So I made curtains, and I didn't want to make it all one piece. I wanted to make them individual, so I made curtains for the top bunk and curtains for the bottom bunk. Very simple. I actually cheated and I cut down curtains that I got at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's way easier for me to take a piece of curtain and cut it down than it is for me to take a piece of fabric and make it up into a curtain. So that's what I did. The top one uses the rod. The bottom one has Velcro, and it Velcros under the bunk. And when we have guests over, which we've done, voila, instant privacy. No one's worried about anybody getting uncovered in their jammies and being seen. So super cool. I also replaced the curtains in the bunk. Each bunk has its own window, and the curtains were a little old and a little bit dingy, and they didn't slide really all that well or open up all that well. So I again cut down curtains from Bed Bath & Beyond, put them on the rods that were already there, and I added ribbon strips with Velcro, so they pull up from the back and Velcro to the top side, so they pull up like this, and it actually makes it look like it's got a nice little valance. And then you just unfasten them and they go straight down. They are room darkening, light shielding, I think is what it's called, curtains for privacy and darkness for bunk sleepers. We don't actually have a coat closet. We have a big closet. I'll show you that in a second. But we don't actually have a coat closet. So some hooks right here on this dividing wall with jackets is our coat closet. I wondered about this when I first thought it up and thought, I don't know, I'm going to be like banging into the coats all the time, and nah, you don't. You get used to them being there, and I don't even think about whether or not it's made the walkway any more narrow. So it works. more cubbies for more storage. There's actually another television for bunk dwellers. So if you're here and we want to watch TV as you're going to sleep or whatever, and you're one of the people that gets to sleep on the bunk, there's a TV just for you. It's pretty cool. Okay, what's that part on, what was that show? MTV Cribs? This is where the magic happens. Right?
Yes.
Now it's time for the bedroom. This is it. This is our bedroom. Queen size bed. Width-wise is great. It is a short queen. Some RVs have a short bed. It's a few inches shorter than a standard queen. It's fine. Doesn't really matter. As you see, when it slides in, this whole section comes in and the bed touches right up against the drawers. So you don't have to worry about the drawers coming open while you're driving, which is nice. There's larger, deeper storage drawers on this side. TV. 4 widths of closet doors. And 4 sets of drawers underneath. If you were a large family traveling in this RV, you would probably put everybody got their own section, which would make sense. For us, Mike gets this section, and I get all the rest. There's also some storage cabinets above the bed. The opening is kind of small, so it's mainly just shoes. And then we do have some storage under the bed. The whole platform lifts up, and there's some seasonal clothes and my griddle and some extra purses, because I can't live forever with just one purse. Like that's really roughing it. So there's some extra stuff under the bed. We do come back here and sort of wind down our day watching TV, checking the last couple of things on phones or whatever, and we do have some reading lamps on either side, so that's kind of nice. Lots of windows for natural light. If you leave it closed up, it can get a little cavernous back here, which is great for napping if you're a daytime napper, which I like to be. But we get lots of good light and airflow through here. Okay, so 2 challenges with the closet. 1, there's only so much space. I mean, it's nice, it's big, and you can only hang up so much stuff. The other thing that you have to be careful of, depending on how your closet is configured, you put a whole bunch of weight, hang up a whole bunch of stuff, and cram it full, and if your rod or your hanger mechanism is attached to the ceiling, it could pull it out of the ceiling, which causes ceiling damage and could potentially create a water issue, depending on how it's attached. I don't know. You want to do as little damage as possible. Just like command. Do no harm. So, when we were thinking about all the things that we would want to bring and all the things that you'd want to put in a closet, we actually have more fold-up stuff than we have hang-up stuff. Things that we typically fold or don't necessarily need to be hung. So, again, more creativity and weight considerations. So, I love the lights in this closet, so then I can find what I'm looking for. But we, along with hanging up things, I found this lightweight cube storage, which is lighter weight than the wood one that the desk is made out of. We could have done one of those, but they're awfully heavy. And this is like a film on a wire, a plastic film on a wire frame, and they snap into these corner pieces, but they store fabric bins. So I arranged them so that I have 4 across. It became a set of 6. I have 4 across and 2 up, which I'll show you in a second. I can still hang my stuff, but I have extra folded space in the closet because the drawers, while nice, not very deep. So for things like sweaters or sweatshirts or bulkier stuff, jeans, they go in here. So on that side, and it's nice that the closet goes all the way through. If your closet is divided, this probably wouldn't have worked as well, but ours is not. So here's the other 2 cubes and then 2 up. And I already had these from our rig before. We used them in our other rig. Super great for storage, and yes, they all belong to me because Mike got the big drawers over here. So he can have the big drawers and I get the cube storage in here. Again, you just gotta be creative about how you store things in as little space and as little weight as possible. So as you can see, on this side of the bed, there's no nightstand. There's no even space. There's no drawers. There's no opportunity for a nightstand. On the other side of the bed, there's a small little tabletop, whatever, nightstand opportunity. There's even a little nook, a little cubby down by the mattress on that side of the bed. Over here, nothing, nada, zip, zilch, zero. And of course, this is the side of the bed I sleep on, and this is the side of the bed I've slept on for 25 years. So, basket, little place for the cell phone. Put my cell phone right in there, charge it. There's not even an outlet. We had to run an extension cord. There's an outlet over on that side, so we had to run an extension cord behind the headboard and mount it up here so that I had an outlet. So, but I can charge my phone here, and that's also my alarm clock when I'm working. I can charge it here. My glasses, here's my glasses, here's my scrunchie for my hair, there's a headband, here's my sleep mask. Like, again, you gotta get creative. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive. Now, I have some things that I had in a drawer in my nightstand at home that are over here in these cubbies. And I'm just kind of waiting to figure out how much do I need access to those. Maybe I could find a better place. So they're in temporary storage in these cubbies right here, just so that they're close and I know where they are. But I'm thinking I probably had 2 nightstand drawers full of junk that I never got into. So why carry that over now? Just a couple of necessities. That's all you need. Across from the bunks is the bathroom. It's not as small as you'd think. It's actually quite manageable. Sink, toilet, storage, and a pretty good sized shower, actually. Not bad. Plus, it's super well lit because of our dome skylight. So awesome to take a shower. Plenty of light during the day. You don't feel like you're closed into a box. And, you know, there's only one, so it's all you can do. Mako finds it very interesting. The door gets opened, the cat's in the bathroom. I don't know.
So, there you have it. That's Gypsy, our home on wheels. We hope you enjoyed the tour. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Stay tuned for part 2 of the series, where we show you lots of storage tricks and upgrades we've come up with to make life on the road a lot smoother, easier, and enjoyable. Take care for now. Peace out. Keep on flying.